All right, another edition of the Parrots Pick brought to you by Linda's Construction. Parrot, how you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Well, you're not dressed up, but Gibby's dressed up like a rodeo clown as normal. So welcome, Gibby. How are you?
And I still look better than Scribner. Isn't that
Oh, it
crazy?
doesn't take much, but look at the guy above you. That scares the crap right out of you. Strand staring down. It's kind of like he's looking over your shoulder all the time.
So I
I
think
don't have a chair because we can't afford one in this booth yet.
Well, that's true. We know that.
You know the nice thing about this Parrots Picks is we've made millionaires out of people because they just go opposite to us.
That's right.
Yeah,
You know what I
Opposite
mean?
of me,
Hey,
that's for sure.
Whoa. Hold on now.
Other
Speak
than
for-
Scrib, he's finally
Yeah.
got a couple right, and he can't sleep at night now.
No, I
because
can
he's-
sleep at night. I'm just kind of disappointed that you guys can't pick some winners. I expected Parrot. You know, every now and then a guy like that knows the stuff's going to lose a couple. But you, Gibby, you're used to losing.
Yeah.
And
3-0, new week. Let's get her done.
Yeah,
That's
let's get it
right,
done.
yeah, let's get her done. But let's just recap it quickly. Gibby was 1-2. Parrot was 1-2. Chatty over there was 0-3.
Chatty ain't doing squat for me, so but
Yeah,
we're trying.
You might want to try a different Chatty Cathy, just so you know. And Scrib was 3-0, so I'm back on the winning train at 200
done.
smacks apiece. That was a good week for me.
Hey, Chatty is coming up with something different this week, so we'll see how it works.
Yeah. we're
Well,
gonna try something
anything
a little
different would be helpful, but that's how it went last week. So if a lot of people took the smart money, which was Scrib, they probably did okay.
I hope
Yeah.
he gets his butt kicked this week.
I probably will,
gonna
but just having fun.
Well, before we get into it, we got to talk a little bit about the World Series. Parrot, that's your sport, my man. What did you think about the 5 games?
You know, the World Series, the only thing that's disappointing about it to me is that game got over last night at about 11 o'clock Central Time.
I know.
So for the 7 young kids on the East Coast that watched that game, I bet they just really had a good time watching it. I mean, just think about when we were kids, the World Series was on earlier in the day and earlier in the evening. But I mean, there's just no chance for kids to watch the World Series that late at night on a school night.
I know.
So from that standpoint, it's disappointing. The quality of game itself, you know, the pitching is so focused now. You know, the relievers are so good. The teams are just trying to hit home runs all the time, which that's just the way the game is played. But I think if the Dodgers played the Yankees 10 times in a World Series format, I think the Dodgers would win every time. They were the
Yeah.
better team.
They were
had
dominant.
better overall pitching, better overall hitting. You know, they do hit home runs, but look at Shohei Ohtani. He didn't even have a good series at all, and they still won the series 4-1.
Right, exactly. And it was an exciting series, but you know, that's a good point, Garrett, that you make. I do remember watching all those World Series. I mean, it's like when Freeman hit that home run and they said it was on the exact same day, almost the exact same time as when Kirk Gibson hit it, right?
Oh, I remember exactly where I was at watching that as
I do too.
you know, 4th, 5th grade kid. Those were great memories. And, you know, to have the game be strong, you need to have kids, you know, experiences like we had that end up loving football, loving baseball. And it just worries me when they have these games so late at night. You know, you can only watch highlights. It's not as connective. So it's kind of a bummer from that standpoint.
Yeah, it is exactly. I mean, like you said, Parrot, absolutely remember. Biggest A's fan. Dennis Eckersley comes out to close that thing out. And I'm like, this game's done. Kirk Gibson, I just remember he's putting his pine tar in his bat. He's limping up to the plate like this, and I'm like, we got this guy, And all of a sudden he hits that home run, and I cried. I did. Tears were flowing. My parents like, what is wrong with you? But I was such an A's fan. Jose Canseco was
They
my
still say that
dog.
to this day. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I just like you said, Garrett. It's just too bad that the kids don't get to enjoy that like we did.
But overall series for being almost a sweep and 5-1 or 4-1, it was a great series. Hopefully, you know, baseball can continue to develop fans and have great series like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured out how to play the games a little earlier, right? I mean, it doesn't help when it's East Coast, West Coast, because, you know, they try to get the timing done right, but play it early, let the kids out on the West Coast off school.
And how do you not comment on how Freddie Freeman played?
Oh, he's amazing. You know, if you saw the interview when he hit that home run in the game 1, it was the first pitch, and
Yeah.
he talked about how he did a kind of a scouting report on how they pitched Shohei Ohtani, and he said he figured that, you know, Shohei would obviously a left-handed batter just like he was, and they pitched him in with hard stuff. And you know, if you listen to Freddie, he's always looking away, trying to drive the ball to left field, but he knew the Yankees were going to pitch him hard in. First pitch, boom. Grand slam over. It really changed the whole series. Freddie Freeman is a phenomenal ball player.
He is. And I think it was worth every $162 million guaranteed that they're paying him for 6 years.
Oh yeah.
I-
Well,
I don't
another
know,
World
whatever you
Series. I
want.
mean, that's the price.
So was it 6 consecutive games he hit a home run?
Yep, six consecutive.
Consecutive World Series games. Yeah,
It's
amazing.
absolutely incredible, unbelievable. Wow,
Yeah,
awesome.
That's an
Good dude,
amazing
too.
stat that you thought might never ever get broken, let alone he breaks it and
Yeah.
sets it at 6. I mean, that's just crazy. That's phenomenal.
Mr. October, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
We're all right, Scrib. Here we go.
Well, yeah, let's just get into some picks. Who wants to go first today? Because I'm not choosing because I got yelled at the last time how we chose.
Yeah, you're going first because you're first in the lineup.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
According
pretty easy.
to our text messages, that's what I
Well,
go by.
100%. That's how it would be. You know, when you're 3-0, you're probably first. So, just saying. Well, I'm going to go with, again, kind of leaning in on the Parrot. They're one of his teams he talked about earlier in the year is Vandy. I just think they continue to play very well. And I just like the way they're playing. I like their matchup. It's Auburn. Just kind of surprised at what that looks like right now. So I'm going to go with Vandy. I think they're a team that can continue to win. You get into the heart of the season, right, Parrot, the heart of the schedule. Like, can they keep it up, right? Let's be honest, their big game was Bama, right? But they've been able to play well. So it'll just be interesting to see if they can keep it up. But I do like Vandy. And then I'm going to take the old Brett Bielema team. Obviously, it probably has a lot to do with the team he's facing. Everybody knows I'm not a big Gopher fan. I mean, we'll deal with P.J. Fleck when we have to, but the less I hear of him, the better off we are. And this is one that I think Brett Bielema, I kind of remember him and P.J. Fleck. I don't know if they see eye to eye. Now, again, P.J.'s down there and Brett Bielema's up here and big, but,
He is a big boy.
he's
He's had a couple of Budweisers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I do like Illinois and their defense. Again, Minnesota's going to come in, try to run, and I think that's something Brett Bielema's team can handle. Then the last one is the Horned Frogs, the old TCU. I just like the way they're playing. I think they're going to get it done again. So that's my picks.
Who does TCU have this week, buddy?
Well, let me go look because
Baylor.
Baylor, yeah.
Baylor,
I'm
yeah.
just not. Dave Aranda's team has been interesting lately, I think, and they're not the defense isn't like it used to be for Dave Aranda.
Yeah,
It's
I like
Sometimes
your,
I
I like
think-
your first two. I just don't know enough about TCU. But your
Yeah.
first two, I think, are spot on. Vandy, I mean, shoot, they were right in the game with Texas last week, and all was within one score and made it tight at the end.
Yeah, I just think TCU's got something this week that they're going to show. All right.
Good luck.
Who do we got next there, Moose?
Gibby.
Oh, boy. Here
All
we
right.
go.
Well, I did not pick them, but we talked that there's a lot of good football games on this weekend. I absolutely love college football. But Ohio State traveling to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. I haven't heard of anything in regards to the Penn State quarterback. Is he hurt still? I think he might be because
They don't know
Badgers
yet.
Badgers took him out.
Yeah, they don't know if who's going to play yet.
Okay, so obviously, I wanted to bet on that, seeing that Ohio State's getting 3.5 points, especially if that quarterback doesn't play. But I stayed away from it because I couldn't find anything that was confirming whether or not he was playing or not. So I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go with Indiana this week as well. I think Indiana is playing tough, and the fact that they're, I think, given only 7.5, I think that's a good bet. I think, man, they're playing tough. And the more I watch that coach, the more I love him. God, that guy's amazing. He came out on game day with McAfee, and that's a guy that you could get on board with. That guy. My next one, I'm gonna go with Navy, the Navy boys, getting 11 or giving 11.5. I just think the way they control the clock, I think it's gonna be difficult for teams to score against them. They had a really bad game last week.
I was going to say they didn't control the clock very well last
No,
week.
well they controlled turnovers like giving them away.
Okay.
Right.
Unfortunately, did not play well, but that happens every once in a while. So I'm going to go with Navy, and then I'm going to wrap it up with the Bielema and the boys. I think they're going to take it to the Gophers. They kind of have a down week last week, but they've been playing some big contests lately, and I think mentally it just maybe had a mental Freudian slip last week. I think they're going to recover this week against the Gophers.
Here's one for you. The Penn State Ohio State game. I'm not going to touch that one either on the picks this week.
Yep.
But I am rooting for Penn State because there's a potential scenario where there will be three undefeated teams in the Big Ten at the end of the year, if Penn State beats Ohio State, if Indiana goes
Yep.
undefeated and beats Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana will all be undefeated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a couple ifs and buts, but it's possible. And the
Yeah.
ironic part is the tiebreaker for who gets the two top spots for the Big Ten championship game goes to common opponents. Well, nobody plays each other. The only common opponent that they have that they all three would beat would be Ohio State. And Oregon only beat Ohio State by 1 point, whereas assuming Indiana and Penn State both win, they'll probably win by more than 1 point. So there's a chance that Oregon would be undefeated, sitting on the outside, and the other two play in the Big Ten championship game. And I would love to see that chaos.
That would be awesome.
Welcome to the Big Ten.
See, this
Right.
is why we got Parrot. He brings the brains.
Hey, Parrot, my
Yeah.
exact text to these boys last night, I'm like, 1 week. Can we get 1 week without you two holding hands on one pick? Because they always pick one team the same.
And I'm going to go a little bit further, Parrot. Say that whole scenario plays out, and Oregon not able to play in the Big Ten championship game, but's ranked number 1 in the country.
But they
Crazy.
still go to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Absolutely, they go
as
to
a
the
number
playoffs.
1
but
seed.
Right. Well, I don't know if they'd be the number 1 seed because the top 4 go to the top 4
Yeah.
No matter what.
winners of the conference championship games.
Oh.
But it would be absolute chaos in year 1 of this thing.
Yeah, that would be. I did not know that, Parrot. So they actually go by that, not the overall rankings for who sits
Well,
on.
No.
I don't know the rankings, though, Parrot. Right, like the automatic bids go to the 4 conference champions.
Right.
That's what he's saying. I don't know how they've identified who would be ranked number 1 though,
Like who would get
because
the,
I don't know if they've said you got to be a conference champ to be number 1 seeded. You know what I'm saying? Something we'd have to look up. I just don't know
All good
how that
stuff.
scenario would work. But
I
that is-
wonder if they thought about this stuff because some of this stuff is just absolutely left field crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty
But,
early,
like-
right, with 4 games left, but it's getting closer, obviously.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
pretty
we're
awesome.
within a month now, so it's crazy. But I mean, Travi, I like your picks too. That Navy game last week against Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame was clearly the better team, but Navy had 3 fumbles in that first half, and all 3 resulted in Notre Dame touchdowns. I mean, when you're running the triple option, you gotta catch the ball and you got to not fumble it. And Navy just totally flubbed up that
Well,
first half. So
right, and that's
come back
the,
this week.
right, and that's the thing with that option, right? It's so difficult to catch up.
Right.
Man, you can upset some big teams because, especially if high-powered offenses, if you can keep the ball out of their hands, which triple option teams do a very good job of that, and you can frustrate the offense of the opposing team. But like you said, Parrot, you get down, you start turning the ball over, you get down 21 rip, and you're like, oh God, how do we come back?
luck.
It's such a
Good
ball
luck, boys.
control. They don't throw very well.
All right, Parrot. So you're not taking the Penn State Ohio State game. Who do you got?
Well,
What's Parrots this week?
We're doing the Indiana Love Fest here again with their head coach. I just think he's an absolute, he's a leader and his team is solid and his defense is good. So Michigan State, they are who they are, and Indiana's got momentum. So give me the Hoosiers on the road, even though they're giving up 7.5. I'm back on the bandwagon with Nebraska. My daughters earlier this year. It's fun. The best part about being a dad is with your kids, getting them into sports and what they're excited about. Even before the year started, my daughter said, "Dad, UCLA is going to be terrible." So I'm kind of going off my daughter's picks on that one. So we're taking Nebraska at home. They're getting 6.5, 7. I think the Huskers are going to roll against the Bruins. And then the last team, I'm a fan of the SEC, obviously, and Kentucky. Their record is not great this year, but their defense is solid, and they're getting 16.5, 17 at Tennessee. I'm just not a big fan of Tennessee's offense. I think Tennessee will win that game, but 17 points is a lot against a solid defense. So give me the Kentucky Wildcats as my third pick.
Nice, love
All
it.
right, that's an interesting game, Tennessee, Kentucky. Very, very interesting. That's a good point of how well their defense
Stoops is
playing.
on some hot water with everything, and they're saying they need a new coach there. But give me a break. Kentucky's always been terrible, and the best years they've ever had has been under Stoops. So I think his defense is going to come out and perform this week.
That'd be a big upset for sure if they could actually get it done.
Right.
Not saying you're calling that, but I'm just saying.
Right.
17 points, I'll take them.
Yeah, that's a lot.
All right, Chatty Moosey, what do you got over there?
Chatty is not doing me very well, so we're gonna mix up a little bit on pick number 3 here. So Her first one was taking Oregon to cover 14.5 at Michigan. I'm not sure if I like that one. I'm only going 50.
Okay.
I think they will, to be honest with you, if I actually looked at that game. But it's funny because she goes, with Michigan's quarterback struggles, Oregon is expected to capitalize, particularly given its strong defense. 2 touchdowns in the Big Ten is still a lot of, at 14.5 is still a lot.
I think they could do it too, though.
But we're going to take them. We're only putting 50 on it. I'm running out of money quick because Chatty sucks. So here we go. Her next one is Louisville versus Clemson. Louisville's plus 11. I think they're going to cover that. So I think it will be a little closer game. Neither team is playing particularly great, obviously. So we're going to see what happens. Her take is Louisville has been keeping it close, but obviously Louisville lost me some money last week, so we'll go with that. All right, we're gonna now. Oh, sorry, I read my stuff, so yeah, we're gonna go Louisville, as you can see there on the screen. Here's the caveat for my third pick, because I gotta mix it up because we're losing left and right. I got a Miami Duke game. The over is 54.5. I'm taking the over.
All right. And for those crowd, that means they got to score more than 54.5 points.
So if they score 55 points, I'm going to win this. So, she just says high-powered offense faces a Duke team that could push the game score higher. Miami's consistently hit high totals, so I'm kind of relying on Miami to have a big game over Duke. I don't think Duke is very good. So if Duke can just put up 14, 20 points maybe on Miami's defense, even if it's a garbage touchdown,
let's do it.
Let's try something different.
Yeah.
I'm going a hundo on that. I'm going to go I'm going to go 50 on Louisville, 50 on Oregon, and a hundo on Miami Duke.
Nice.
All right.
Hey, Travis, here's one that you might not even be familiar with, buddy. But your former college teammate in the running back room, Damian Harmon.
Yeah.
He lives I think he lives in Nashville area, but his son just committed to Duke.
Oh,
and he's
really?
going to be a DB there, yeah. So he's a senior this year, and he had offers from Michigan and a couple other Big Ten schools, but Duke is where Damian's kid's going to be going. So kind of keep an eye on him and his career. So
that's awesome.
I'll be rooting for that team.
Did he go for the education or what?
He's a stud. I mean, he's a smart kid. Damian's a leader in business world, and his kid's smart. So Duke's a good spot for him, and wish him the best.
I missed that, Garrett? He's going as a DB, did you say?
He's going as a DB. Yep.
Okay,
yep.
cool. Awesome.
He moves really well.
Oh, that's great.
All right, that's the roundup of the Parrots Picks, brought to you by Linda's Construction. Just got to clarify, you guys all going 100?
Yep.
Okay. Parrot, same with you?
Well, before
100 across the board, keep it consistent. Just got to go 2-1, or hopefully do the magic 3-0 like you pulled off last week, probably.
Hey, let's real quick, maybe like a minute or two here, Garrett, because I know you got to get going. But anything in the NFL that we should be looking at this week?
Well, this week in the NFL, the Vikes have need to make a comeback on what they're doing. They've kind of exposed on. We thought they are who we thought they were. The old Dennis Green saying. They're not the best team in the league, but they're solid. This week against Indy, Indy's got a nut job quarterback with all his tapping out when he gets tired.
Right? That's amazing.
I've never even heard of anything like that.
Never did a quarterback do that.
You never heard of that?
Well,
even at
for
Augie
non-quarterback players,
with somebody
but
like
never at a
Travis
quarterback level.
Gibson. I got tapping out
I was a cornerback and a running back. I was
Did
not
any
a
of you
quarterback.
guys see McAfee when they were giving J.J. Watt crap about tapping out?
So fun.
Watt went off. He was like, I got to take a minute.
I think that was maybe yesterday or the day before. If you didn't see that,
yesterday,
McAfee,
wasn't it?
Oh, my goodness. I think it was yesterday. So funny. Watt just went nuts. It's awesome. You got to watch
what are you talking about? And they're just like, well, we've seen you tap out. He's like, what?
It was good. It was really good. How about the A-Rod stuff? What do you think of Parrot on that? Do you think he's just falling off the apple cart here? If the Jets go down again this week, was he 2-5 right now?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's just
the thing is, I was reading this morning. He's going to be drinking water and cayenne pepper.
And Watt
That's
went
the
off
fountain
about
of
that
youth
too.
must do it.
Yeah, let's go.
If I was drinking water and cayenne peppers, you know where I'd be sitting for the week.
You got to watch McAfee. Yeah, because JJ goes off on that too, on the cayenne pepper.
He's hilarious.
Water. Just goes
JJ
crazy.
Watt is hilarious.
He's so
when he's
funny.
On there.
He's awesome.
I'm not anti A-Rod, man. I would like to see him do well. I kind of like the Jets a little bit, and I mean A-Rod, he got his positions politically and stances, but at the end of the day, I want to see him do well too. So he's an old man, a little over 40, got to root for those guys too.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
Pack.
I just think for him though, Parrot, he just got to play football and quit worrying about everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of noise.
half his. That's a
noise.
lot of noise around him.
Colts coming to the Vikes, and then the Lions coming to the Packers. Anything on Love? You guys hear anything?
I have not heard as of right now. He's questionable.
I think
with the
they're going to
groin.
sit him. I think we're going to get. I don't think it. That might be a pretty safe bet right there, Parrot. 3.5 Lions.
Well, it's at Green Bay, but the Lions, even if Love is playing, the Lions are dialed in right now, playing
Oh, yeah.
confidently.
They're
I mean,
so good.
Well coached, tight
so
team. They're very good. So
Yeah, the only chance that I think the Packers have in that game is to turn if they can turn Goff over a few times and run the football.
Yeah, I'd agree. The one thing about them, right? They've been scoring a lot of points, so you know how this goes in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They all of a sudden stop scoring points, and it could be a tight game.
Yeah.
football
right.
weekend, boys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, well that's it again for Parrots Picks, brought to you by Linda's Construction. Another good example of 4 guys knowing how to pick. Wait, 3 guys in Moose knowing how to pick football games.
Oh boy, here
Moose,
we go.
hold on.
No.
I'm controlled by Chatty.
Yeah, we
See
understand.
what I mean, Garrett? I got to put up with this crap all
He's
the
already
time.
controlled by an AI bot.
Yeah.
We're winning this week, all of us.
All right,
Even-
yeah.
Yeah,
go.
that's
Other-
right.
other than
Yeah,
school.
that's why we love the Parrot. We're just positivity flowing.
Right.
All right.
All right, Parrot, have a great
boys.
weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good
Everyone
luck.
have a good one.
Go Tigers.